Hello everyone. Let us see session 2 questions of GATE 2016 Mechanical Material Science. First question is a hollow cylinder has length L, inner radius R1 and outer radius R2 and thermal conductivity K. The thermal resistance of the cylinder for radial conduction is. This is a problem of heat conduction. Right? Suppose this is a cylinder, your hollow cylinder, right? And the inner radius is R1 and your outer radius is R2, right? And this is your length. So guys, we know that Q is equal to minus K dt upon dx, right? Yes, so here the distance is radial, so here we can write dt upon dr, right everyone? Okay, Q is equal to minus K, area is also there, right? Okay, fine. So Q is equal to, we can write dt by K into A, something like this we can write. Yes, so this is your thermal resistance. So this thermal resistance in the case of cylinder, it is, so this temperature difference we can write T1 minus T2, and here it shall be ln R2 by R1 2 pi KL. So this is the expression, right? So this matches with option A, right? Now guys, suppose you forget this formula, then how will you do it? So in that purpose you can do it, guys. Once you forget the formula, then how you can do it? That you use this equation, the first equation, that is Q is equal to minus Ka dt by dr, right? Then you take this dr in the left hand side, so Q dr by A, okay, equal to minus of K dt, right? You can write this. So now you have to integrate in the next step, because this dr upon area, right? So dr upon this area will be integrated from radius R1 to radius R2, right? And temperature, similarly, the inside temperature is suppose T1 and outside temperature T2, so you will have to take from T1 to T2, right? So like this. So now once you do this, so this you can write Q dr and area, what is the area? 2 pi r h, h here is L, right? Equal to minus K, you can write dt T1 to T2, right everyone? So this we can write Q by 2 pi L ln R 1 by R dr is equal to ln R, right? So R1 to R2 equal to minus K dt T1 to T2, right? So from here also you can write Q ln R2 by R1 by 2 pi R is equal to T1 minus T2, right? So Q you can write T1 minus T2 by ln R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi L. So this is your resistance, thermal resistance, right? So similarly you can do that for the spherical, so that you can easily calculate if you forget the formula also, right? Okay guys, now let us proceed. The internal energy of an ideal gas is a function of, so guys, here it is asking about just the internal energy. So guys, remember that internal energy is function of temperature, and it is only function of temperature. It does not depend on the pressure, right, or the volume or the entropy as given in other option. So it will only depend on your temperature, okay? Next one, in the phase diagram shown in the figure, 4 samples of the same composition are heated to temperature marked by A, B, C and D. So A, B, C and D. Okay. At which temperature will a sample get solutionized the fastest? Okay. So it is asking what the fastest solutionization. So for solutionization purpose we need a high temperature, right? So temperature should be high and it should be in the solutionizing zone, right? Second is it should be in the solutionizing zone, right? Third should be like you will have to see for the maximum solubility over there. So once it has more solubility, so that sample will have, that position of that will have maximum diffusion, right? So among A and B, if you see, so this is not in the solutionizing range. So C is there, D is at the boundary, right? Now if you see this C, so at C we see there is a maximum solubility of this alpha, right? So that is the most favorable position where we have the maximum solubility and we have enough temperature also, and that is inside of the solutionizing zone, right? So that's why we'll mark this option C, right? The welding process which uses a blanket of fusible granular flux is. So here it is asking granular flux. Right? So guys, we know this granular flux is used to cover the arc, right? And this covering of this arc takes place using submerged arc welding, right? So now if you know about the submerged arc welding, then suppose we are doing the welding on a circular piece. This is a electrode, right? So from we put some arrangement so that it completely covers the arc which is produced, and now when it rotates, suppose it comes to this position, right? Or what we do, we rotate this circular piece. So once we rotate, so whatever the flux which is over here, so when it reaches this portion, then there is a arrangement so that it gets sucked, right? So this is a thing which happens in submerged arc welding. You can see the video also from the internet. Next, the value of true strain produced in compressing a cylinder to half its length, right? Suppose this is your cylinder, first length is your L and this final length is your L by 2, right? True strain we know ln LF by Li, right? So ln LF is L by 2 and this is your L, so ln 0.5. So if you write this ln 0.5, then you will know minus 0.69, right? So option B will be the correct one. In a structural member under fatigue loading, the minimum and maximum stresses developed at the critical point are 50 MPa and 150 MPa respectively. The endurance, yield and the ultimate strength of the material are 200, 300 MPa and 400 MPa respectively. The factor of safety using modified Goodman criterion is. So guys, you just know about this Goodman criterion is that it gives relation between this alternating stress to this mean stress. So this tells you about an area where when we have a certain amount of alternating stress and the mean value of that, whatever the alternating stress is there, so whether that material is safe or not. So this Goodman, when he gave this theory, so he came to know the maximum limit when your mean stress is 0. So for that material, it is the endurance limit up to which this material is safe, right? Now when your material does not have alternating stress, so here that means there is normal stress. So in the case of normal stress, the limit is your ultimate tensile stress, that is sigma u, right? So this is the case. So in between, if the material is subjected to any kind of loading, so it is safe, right? So this is how Goodman has given this one. So this is what Goodman has developed. Now here the factor of safety is considered 1. That means the force of application, the stress of application is equal to the extreme force is up to endurance limit and this ultimate tensile strength. Now suppose we introduce some factor of safety to be rather more safe than a designer may use a factor of safety. So once we use a factor of safety, suppose we use like F, so the maximum allowable stress in that case becomes, like in the y-axis it becomes sigma E by F, and in the x-axis it becomes sigma U by F, right? So guys, so there will be new stress level. So this will be your sigma U by F, and this will be your sigma A by F, right? So this is the thing. So when your force of application is between this, then it is very safe, because here we have considered factor of safety also, right? So what is the equation of this line? So that will give us basically the boundary wall, means below which we need to have, right? So the equation of this is similar to the equation of line, where we have some intercept in this direction. Suppose this is your x direction and y direction, right? So this is like, and this x direction is equal to your sigma m, right? So sigma m divided by the intercept. So what is the intercept? This is the intercept. So sigma u by f plus, what is your y-axis? It is your sigma a divided by, what is the intercept? It is your sigma, sorry, here it will be E, endurance limit, right? Sigma E by F equal to 1. So this implies sigma m by sigma u plus sigma a by sigma E is equal to 1 by F, right? So when we have considered factor of safety, so guys, from the equation you see these are the values which it has given now. So where we have to first find the mean stress, then the alternating stress. So guys, here it is given sigma max equal to 150 MPa, right? Sigma mean is equal to 50 MPa, right? Sigma endurance, it is given how much it is, 200 MPa, you can see. Then sigma u, it is also given 400 MPa, and sigma, this yield strength is also given, but this value is of no use for this purpose right now. Okay, so guys, now if ask you to find sigma mean, so it will be sigma max plus sigma mean by 2. So it shall be 150 plus 50 by 2, so that will be 100, right? And sigma alternating is, suppose I ask you, and sigma max minus sigma mean by 2, so that means 150 minus 50 by 2, so it will be 50, right? So these are the two values we calculated. These we will use in this equation. So now you put these values in this equation, so it will be sigma m, first is sigma m, so it is your 100, and sigma u, it is your 400, plus sigma a is your 50 divided by sigma e is your 200 equal to 1 by f. So this implies 1 by f equal to 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, so it shall be 1 by 2. So this implies f equal to 2. So what is the factor of safety in this case? So it is 2, right? So this is a very good question, but this is more inclined to mechanical engineering, but for a metallurgist also, he or she should know this. Next one. In a binary system of A and B, a liquid of 20% A is coexisting with a solid of 70% A. Okay, for an overall composition having 40% A, the fraction of solid is. Okay, guys. So this is a normal problem. You will have to use your common sense. Like first is your liquid and second is your solid. So liquid, it has 20% of A, and the solid, it has 70% of A, right? So what is happening, that once we are gaining this A solute atom, the fraction of solid is increasing. So initially it is 0%, and here it is 100% solid, right? So what is the increase of this A such that there is a 100% solid? So it is increasing from 20 to 70. That means 50% A, suppose I am adding, then we are getting a 100% solid, right? So we can use this unitary method. So 50% addition results in 100% solid, right? So it is asking for a composition where we have 40% A, right? So 40% A, that means it will be increase of how much? From 20, it will be 20%. So for this 20% increase, it will be 100 by 50 into 20, right? So you can see it will be 2, so it shall be 40%. So there shall be 40% solid. So 40% solid, we can also say like 0.4 fraction of solid, right? So this is your answer. Okay guys, hope this will help you for your GATE examination. Thank you.